And so to try and say to someone, it's about building that trust back up again, I think it's about allowing yourself that time and space to acknowledge the hurt and the pain, and then to look at where did that hurt and pain really start to come from, and then to make sure that it's that blame stuff doesn't sit on us, because we often blame ourselves for the breakdown of relationships, where we know that relationships is very multifaceted. There's a lot of dynamics and complexities that happen within relationships. I think first and foremost is to really acknowledge the fact that you are worthy of relationships, good, healthy relationships, and that you will have the ability to build rapport and trust again, and just to allow ourselves to be okay and be open to that. But I want to recognise that also that that's a challenge for people when there has been a lot of mistrust that's occurred. How do you allow yourself to be open and trusting again? And for me, I always think if people are worth it, if I'm, say for example, if I'm a practitioner and I'm working with someone, and I think for myself I want that trust between the two of us as a working relationship, then I will give the time, the space, and the ability for that to happen. So I will work really hard to create that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're with family and friends that they will necessarily understand the same level of what it means to rebuild it. For family and friends, I think so sometimes it really depends on where their own value base sits. So we, again, as relationships, we talked about, it's really complex, but people themselves, they hold an individual value or belief system, and depending on what that is and where they sit will really depend on their understanding of what you're going through. So often we work with family who classify suicide as being something silly, being often cowardly, or it's very much downplayed. It's almost like it's a blame that's placed onto a person.
Which is very similar to sexual violence.
Yeah, and so it's, this is something you brought on yourself, so therefore you need to take it off yourself. And, straight away we say those aren't the type of people that you want in your support system, because we can't change a person's values or beliefs. But what we can do is recognise that they're for your own wellness. They're not the safe people that you want to be around. So you want to be able to align yourselves or have relationships with some of those other people that are more understanding, are much more willing to listen and to really figure out what it is that they can do, how they can support. But it's always a real challenge trying to figure that out.